So our first lesson, we learnt about how the fact that we can use output commands such as print to get it to put something out to the screen. So something like that. So I run that command there. That takes this string, so a piece of text, and it prints out hello year 9. Hopefully that's fairly obvious to by now. And that's quite useful, but like we said in the video before, we need input from the user so we can do something with it. So today's lesson is about taking data from the user, doing some kind of process and working out the answer to questions. Because computers, as we said originally, were often used to use maths or to break codes and spying on people to try and find out what they were up to and kind of breaking out how they were using their information during the war. So what we want to do is any program we've got, we're going to put a hashtag at the top to explain it. So this one is going to add two numbers together. Okay, we're also going to put another hashtag into the date. So the date I'm writing this on is 20th of October 2017. That's the follow gold standard in school. Obviously we can't underline our date and title, but at least we can put the date and the title at the top of our program. So one of the things we've got to know about is a variable. A variable is a container. Imagine it's a bit like an empty box. So in your computer's RAM or memory, there's lots and lots of these empty boxes waiting for pieces of data to be put into there. So I'm going to create a variable called number 1. Okay, and then I'm going to assign it like I would in maths using the equal symbol to say that this equals something. Okay, so I'm going to ask them to type in a number. Okay, so I'm going to use that command I've heard before called the input command and ask them a question. Please type in a number. All right, make sure I think about my punctuation and grammar there. So please type in a number. Now, this command here will go and grab some input from the screen over here when I type it in. Unfortunately, in Python, it assumes that you're always going to ask for pieces of text or the keyword a string. And that's useful sometimes, but this time we want to actually type a number in. So for maths, we've learned there's different types of numbers. So we've learned that there are integers, which are whole numbers, and there are real numbers as well. So today we're going to look at integers. So we're going to put int, bracket, then the word input, then we're going to ask a question. Now you've probably noticed, if you spot there's like a little bit of an error here. For maths, there's two brackets. There's one start bracket, two start brackets, some string to ask a question, one end bracket. So because like in maths, there's two starting parentheses or two brackets, we need to have two brackets at the end. So this line here basically takes the input, and whatever they type in, it stores in a variable called number 1, so I can refer to that later. So I wanted to add up two numbers. So I'm going to ask them what the second number is. So number equals int bracket input. Please type in another. I didn't put a quote in. Try again. Please type in another number. Okay. So let's check, and I've got one start bracket, two start brackets, and two end brackets. If you're using idle on the computers, it often doesn't put the end brackets in for you. It's because I'm using a website called RepL IT that you might use on your Chromebooks if you've got them with you. So this program now takes in one input, two inputs, and stores it into two separate variables, two boxes to store that. So I want to work out what the total is. So I'm going to create another variable called total, and I'm going to take the first number, number 1, and I'm going to add on number 2. Okay. Now, I've worked it out. I want to output number 2, so output the total to the screen. So print total. Now, notice here, there's no quotes around that. And you might want to stop the video and have a quick discussion about why does Mr. Robson have no quotes around that. Well, the reason I have no quotes around that is because I'm not printing out a string, a piece of text. I want to get whatever's in the box or variable total and print it to the screen. So I'm going to try that out by pressing the run button here. And hopefully I've got no syntax errors in my code. Type in number 7, type in another number 8, 7 plus 8x, and it's 15. A couple of things to be wary of. That might give you syntax errors. Syntax errors are just errors that computers look through your writing and said that it's not right. It's a bit like your English teacher looks through your writing and notices you haven't got a full stop, a capital letter, lack of punctuation, very long sentences. Syntax is where the computer reads through your code and checks that it's basically right. A couple of things to think about is you've got to put something in first, a variable name, before you put the equal sign. Very often you'll see this, people's code, even in year 11th, and they don't put where to store it. that would ask a question, but because I've not told it where to store that data, it's just going to throw the number in. So I want to make sure that I've got my that in there. Another thing that you might also have an issue with is some people forget to put in the int part. So let's just run this program and see what happens when I don't put int to make sure that it's a number I'm asking the user for. Right, so number 8, looks like it's working so far, and number 6, hold on, it's got some kind of error message here that hasn't worked. And that's basically because it's taken an integer here and it's trying to add on a piece of text, a string, and it's going, I can't add a number to a piece of text. That doesn't make sense. It either has to be 2 numbers or 2 pieces of text. So making sure you put int into there. So hopefully that's given us a bit of an introduction. Your teacher might add some other things into there that would help you try and work that out. So you now need to try and take on some of the differential challenges and put any evidence that you've got into your learning journal, because your teacher will read through that and to give some idea of how we're doing and how we're kind of getting on with that.